Now today we're going to be taking a look at a keyboard here, a mechanical keyboard from Nixeus, which is the same brand that also makes AMD FreeSync panels. Now granted, it's not as cheap as, say, a membrane keyboard, but it is a lot cheaper than other mechanical keyboards on the market, so we're going to see how it stacks up. And if it does stack up, then maybe we'll find some use for it around here or something. But other than that, guys, we're going to check out mechanical keyboard today to see if it's even worth, you know, your money and stuff. It's kind of the point, usually. The Mastercase 5 and Mastercase 5 Pro from Cooler Master combines modularity with creativity, giving you the freedom to build it your way. Make it yours by clicking the link down in the description. Now, mechanical keyboards, they're kind of a funny oddity, if you will. And the reason for that was back in the 80s, that's all that existed were mechanical keyboards. Membranes and the PCB keyboard as you know it today didn't really exist then. They were individual switches under each key that sent a signal to the computer to say the A key was pressed or the Y key was pressed or enter or whatever. But people also complained back in office spaces and stuff that these keyboards are way too noisy, which gave birth to the rubber dome membrane style keyboard. Well, the reason why I say mechanical keyboards are kind of funny is we as people are fickle, especially the enthusiast and the gamer, because most people now are like, screw membrane, we want mechanical. And it's kind of like, you know, how fashion makes a big circle over, what is it, every 20 or 30 years, fashion kind of recycles itself, which is why we're now starting to see a lot of dudes with long hair like girls and stuff, kind of like they had back in the 70s. Yeah, we're going full circle again here, especially with keyboards. So this is the Nixeus MODA V2. It is a mechanical keyboard and it features Kailh switches. Now that's kind of the first thing you notice between companies that are trying to save a little bit of money to make things more affordable is they're not going with Cherry switches, they're going with Kailh. Now Kailhs can actually interact with Cherry keycaps because they use the exact same style of keycap holder mechanism, if you will. They just simply pop right off. And you can actually put Cherry keycaps on there without any problems whatsoever. Now, it is a very no-frills keyboard. As you can see right here, there is no 10 key whatsoever. There's no macro keys on here whatsoever. It's not even backlit. Now, a lot of people, especially myself, like backlit keyboards. But there's a lot of people that have spoken up in some of my peripheral reviews and said, Jay, we don't like backlit keyboards. I don't understand why companies keep making backlighting. Yeah, there's people out there that don't care for that. So that's exactly what this is kind of tailored towards. Now it's got all the standard features that you would expect for a mechanical gaming or a mechanical keyboard that is also good enough for gaming. I keep saying gaming keyboard. It's really not even branded as gaming, it's just branded as mechanical. But it's got 3 color options from Kailh, red, brown, and blue, which pretty much do mimic the same feel and weight of their Cherry counterparts, or much more expensive German Cherry counterparts. Kailh are made in China. But it has a 3-year limited warranty, free tech support, end key rollover, all the sort of stuff that you'd expect, including a Windows gamer lock, which is kind of neat because, you know, bumping Windows key when you meant to hit crouch or alt and getting kicked out of your game is super annoying. Now it's got a fairly long rubberized cable, but it doesn't seem to really get tangled. It's kind of thick. You do have multiple routing here as I'm bumping keys on the keyboard. You have multiple routes on the bottom of the keyboard, so it can go straight out or either side. Big rubber feet on the bottom, so it's not going to slide around, as well as big giant rubberized feet that pop out on the bottom. So you can get, as you can see, I mean, that's not sliding, as you can see. You push that thing, it does, ow, that hurts. It's not going anywhere, which is kind of nice. And then you get a nice, you know, tilted upright typing angle if that's what you want as well. And I tend to like my keyboards that way. But also it does have function buttons on there with like your multimedia keys, play, pause, rewind, fast forward, volume up, volume down, mute, and that sort of stuff. Now in terms of durability, this thing is pretty weighty because it's got a steel reinforced plate on the top where all the switches connect to. So you're not gonna be able to twist this thing. It makes no creaking sound when you twist it. What you are hearing is my hands slip on it. But yeah, it feels like it's a quality piece. The only question I have is, how do the Kailh switches really stack up? Well, I've already used this thing for a little bit. In fact, it's got a couple of scratches on it because I'm a little clumsy at times. But for the most part, all the switches feel pretty uniform. In fact, I'll go ahead and do a quick typing test here so that you guys can hear the way it sounds. The problem I have with Kailh switches, though, is a few of them feel ununiform, where Cherries are very, very, very high quality. They're also pretty expensive for manufacturers to use. But anyway, some of them feel like they're a little firmer than others, and some of them downright make a spring kind of a springy sound in there, which is not something you would ever hear from a Cherry switch. But anyway, let's go ahead and do a typing test here. I'll do the best I can to make it so you guys can hear it. I mean, I'm using a lav mic, so that's the distance we'll be using right here. But I guess it makes sense considering my mic is fairly close to my ears, and it's going to give you a good sense of how things would sound. Remember, these are the brown variants here, so they have the same type of feel as a brown, which is going to be smooth linear action with a tactile bump. It's not going to have a click. Click would be like a blue, and then red has no bump whatsoever. In fact, I even did a video, if you guys look, all about mechanical switches. I explained the different feels and stuff. Really old video of mine, but still relevant today. All right, so let's go ahead and just type something. So I typed. This is me typing on my new keyboard from Nixeus. This isn't so bad, but I'm thinking that some of the keys are not feeling as uniform as I would like. It's okay though, it could be worse, I suppose. It's better than typing on a membrane keyboard in my opinion. But there are a few keys on here, like I said, they're a little bit noisy. Allow me to demonstrate. Here's the X key, which sounds perfectly normal. Now here's the Z key, and a few of these keys make this sound. Listen to the spring. Now for contrast, here's the X. So you've got your little tactile bump in there, and then you can hear the key bottoming out. But now listen again to the Z, and listen to the spring in there. You can actually hear the spring kind of clinging around. So that gets a little bit annoying, and there's a few keys, like 3 or 4 of them on this keyboard that are actually doing that. But again, like I said, they are Kale, so there is going to be a little bit of a quality variant there on the Chinese switch versus the German switch. Now, one thing to mention before I get out of here too is they do include a few other switches. Now, usually gaming keyboards will give you like WASD switch replacements so that you can feel them a little bit better, a little bit different texture on there. Sometimes they even give you number row key replacements, like Corsair started that with the red keys on the K-series keyboards. But they do include in here a keycap puller, and they give you Mac keys. I guess they assume that a lot of people might be using these on Macs. You can get the command key that's going to replace, I guess you got the option key here, which I think is what replaces the Windows key, and then 2 command keys to replace what I believe is control on Mac keyboard. It's been a long time since I've used the Mac, but it's kind of neat. If you are looking at getting this for, say, a Mac or a MacBook Pro or something like that, then you can take out the Windows-specific keys and change them out with Mac keys. I mean, that's kind of neat. I don't know if I've seen anyone else actually include that with their mechanical keyboards. Probably, I'm just an idiot and don't know, but I haven't seen it. Anyway, guys, I thought I'd bring you this quick video here to kind of show you the Nixeus keyboard. A few people have asked me how I feel about this keyboard because it's not a brand that's as well known as, say, like Corsair or Cooler Master, CM Storm, or even Asus is getting into the keyboard mix now. So anyway, tell me what you guys think about this keyboard. The fact that it's not backlit, I hope that the imprinting on the top of the keys will last longer. Sometimes when you have backlit keyboards and you have that translucent part of the key, the paint around it starts to chip off and starts to look really, really bad. Hopefully, as you can see, I was typing all over there. Hopefully this one will last a bit longer. In terms of construction, it's fantastic. I just would have personally liked to see a Cherry switch. I don't know how much more it would have cost. But anyway, you guys can also check it out on Amazon. At the time of doing this video, you can get them for $69.99 on Amazon Prime. In fact, I'll put a link in the description. Weird enough, the brown switch costs more. It's $74 for the brown switch. It's $5 more. I don't understand why that is. Maybe it's just a supply and demand thing. Anyway, guys, time to get the heck on out of here. If you have some other peripherals you think I should check out, let me know. I'm not super picky with my peripherals. I have my favorite mouse, which happens to be a CM Storm Reaper mouse, not even available anymore. By far the best mouse I've ever used. I don't know why they discontinued that. But I turn down peripheral views all the time because I don't think they're that interesting. But if you guys think there's something out there that I'm overlooking and I should look at, make sure you let me know over on Twitter or Facebook or something like that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. As always, I will see you in the next video.